So after I've spent the last 15 years in the ETF industry, and the one thing I realize is it's not just that there's been an immense amount of ETFs built. The more amazing thing is there's an explosion of new indexes and new concepts and new people coming to the space, and that's the underpinnings of this. But as I started looking at it, and I started thinking about a new firm and creating that new firm, the idea is that how do we pull this all together in that if we have a great research concept, let's take that research and then let's start talking to advisors and let the advisors tell us about their clients. They got to be part of the fabric of the decision. And so then the advisor really helps dictate how we can access or how we allow the access to that research. So it's really not any different than an ice cream place. So if we stop in and today we want in a cup, tomorrow a cone, maybe a stick dipped in chocolate, it really doesn't make a difference because it's all the same ice cream. But let's take that research, let's consolidate it together, let's put salespeople out, wholesalers out there, help support advisors, but then give the power back to the advisor to say they should make the structured decision, not the product firm. And the product firms tended to get very biased. They started realizing that we prefer everything in our ETF wrapper or in our structured product or in our mutual fund instead of providing multiple access points. So in some ways, they're probably not valuing the intellectual property that goes into passively managed products like they should. And I think that's the revolution that we're going to see next is an explosion of products, but now hopefully with one voice helping to tell that story. So we're working with some, now they call third-party managers or ETF strategists. And an ETF strategist, we may look at it and say, you know what, we could take what you've done and we could create an ETF on it. But also we could take that same model, put it into an index, and because of some of the natures of it, we might be able to create a market-linked CD that actually tracks that same index, or even a variable annuity product or something could be created off that same idea. And now the good thing is when our wholesaler walks in the door, they can begin talking about here's why this manager is great, here's how they manage their portfolios, whether it's strategic, tactical, what their approach is. But then each client each advisor, in our world, our client is the advisor, each client then begins looking and saying, yep, you know what, I have clients that kind of are scared of the market and they would like principal protected. This one's saying, you know what, I like ETFs, I use ETFs only. And then, you know, others might look and say, you know what, do you offer the same thing in a UIT wrapper or something that's a little bit different? And, you know, as I started thinking about it, I thought, you know, the hardest mechanism is you got to build out this platform. I've got to be able to sit there and say, when I engage, I can get a structured note, a CD, a UIT, an ETF, a managed account, any of these things launched for you in a timely fashion. And, you know, I think we figured out how to do that. So we're on our final steps of, you know, completing that task, and that's what this year's been all about. And next year will be about, you know, implementing more and more products. So a lot of research firms, even at this conference today, it's amazing the people came up saying, we've got idea, we have things made, and they're beginning to realize there's multiple ways that an advisor may want to actually access what they do. So.